This episode of What's the Apps is brought to you by Carbonite. Well, hello there, it's Jon Q here from Techno Buffalo and welcome to What's the Apps. In the last video, Kaboom214 suggested that I review Native Instruments iMaschine. So without further ado, let's get our groove on with iMaschine by Native Instruments. Back in the day, when I was a wannabe studio musician and amateur self-proclaimed music producer, Native Instruments Battery was pretty renowned in the online music community, so when Kaboom mentioned something by Native Instruments, I actually got pretty excited. iMaschine, spelled iMaschine, is basically a compact beat machine, iMaschine, with 4 tracks, 3 different instruments, drums, keys, and vocals, all with fancy effects, dials, and settings for sound tweaking and more. All of which can help you create your latest and greatest chart-topping #1 selling hip-hop album of all time. Playa. The app comes with a library of pre-made projects, so you can get a sense of what the app can do. And if you're like me, feel a little bummed knowing that I can't really create stuff that sounds anything like that. But that's okay. As you can see, the UI is pretty sweet, and everything is laid out in a way where it's friendly for people who have never really tinkered with drum machines or sound pads before. Not only can you tweak existing sounds, but you can also sample new sounds as well. Check out this beat that I made with my very own homemade drum kit.
Bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, crash, snare, crash, snare, bass, snare, crash.
Pretty sweet, right? I mean, what can I say? Musical genius right here. Earlier, I was trying to map out a beat to a classic 90s song, but it just didn't end up working out too well. Who knew, okay, the theme song to Mortal Kombat would be so hard to play? I gave up after a while and I ended up scoring something a little bit, a little bit more modern, a little bit more chic, funky, fresh, and all that, new car smell. Speaking of Lil Jon, Usher, and Luda, all of which I never mentioned, I'm gonna take some time to give a shout out to our friends at Carbonite. Computer disasters eventually happen to everyone. Your computer crashes, it gets infected with a virus, you drop it on your foot, some guy steals it off your foot and sets it on fire in a forest. I would know, this all happens to me almost every single day. But if you get Carbonite online backup before all of this random shenanigans happens, then no need to worry because all of your files will be backed up automatically and safely off-site. And you know what? It's really easy to get them all back. Plus, you get anywhere, anytime access to your backed up files from any computer, or on your smartphone or iPad with a free Carbonite app. Unlimited backup from your PC or Mac is just $59 a year. Hey, that's less than $5 a month. Mathematics at its best. But when you use the offer code TECHNO to start your free 15-day trial, you'll get an additional 2 months free if you decide to buy. All of the details are at carbonite.com, and remember to use the offer code TECHNO to get 2 months free with purchase. Back to the review. As cool as this app is, I did have a little bit of trouble using it. It may just be my musically uncoordinated fingers, but I found that the pads didn't register 100% of the time to how I wanted them to. It also would have been easier to lay out my beats if it had kind of an instrumental score beat kind of view. You know what I'm talking about? The one with all the beats and stuff? Yeah, this one! Lastly, I couldn't find a way to save or export my beats as an MP3 or WAV file. iMaschine lets you export as a machine file, which I'm guessing you need the hardware or software to, or to SoundCloud, which I don't have an account to. Still, the app is incredibly fun to play with. So for that, I'm gonna give iMaschine a 4 out of 5. If you want to have something compact and on the go to create, score, and sample beats, definitely check out this application. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review of iMaschine. Again, if there are any applications that you would like me to check out, let me know by commenting. This was Jon Q from Techno Buffalo. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Latest. Speaking of Lil Jon, Usher, and Luda, all of which I never mentioned, I'm gonna take some time to... Speaking of... I'm getting the gigglies, oh. Speaking of Lil Jon, Usher, and Luda, all of which I never mentioned, I'm gonna take some time to... So ridiculous.